this is way different from anything else I've heard. And the more I just started paying attention, I would say Tariq Nasheed and Umar Johnson, they were more like fans to the fire. If you were to ask, I think they added to it. I don't think they were solely the reason, but I think the fire was already lit. And for that last little push, both of them and others kind of moved the consciousness along. So by the time the election came around, yeah, it was pretty much over.
Okay, I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah, I got a question for you, Soothe. I'm very interested in hearing your story. Were you formerly a Democratic voter?
Oh, honey, I didn't even bother looking at the damn ticket. I just went and lit anywhere it said a D or DEM, check that colored in and call it. I got my sticker and did my duty. That was me for most of my voting life up until maybe like the last probably, what years?
Where you realized?
A little less than 10 years. Yeah, absolutely.
So the turning point that it really hit you, Sue, where you're like, I can't do this anymore. I got to change the way I think and the way I vote.
Well, the turning point was noticing a lot of the things that y'all spoke on earlier in the room to the community, and the fact that not only that the pandering, I ain't gonna lie, the pandering was eating me alive. I just felt like I was being played with. Like, you really think you can dangle some hot sauce in your purse and a chicken leg? The shit was crazy. But then also, like I said, the policies and the fact that, when you consider who's benefiting from, all this legislation coming across and everything like that, and, at the bottom of the damn barrel, who's always there, it really kind of hit home for me. And then also like the abortion issue. Again, it's weird because I'm in the middle, like, by your choice, yeah, but does it really take people pandering to the community about abortion? It's almost like it was forceful. So certain things just really kind of made me be like, hold the hell up. I'm fucking stupid. And I was, but not no more.
Well, glad to hear you decided to come over to the dark side.
To be fair, I'm independent, so I'm not on either side of the wing because it's the same bird to me. But I just had to take myself off of the Democrat because that's who we always voted for, kind of train.
Okay.
Get off that.
That's fair. Hey, like I said, I ain't expect nobody to jump ship over to Republican Trump immediately, but I'm glad you saw the value in your vote, and that you didn't want to waste it anymore and continue to feed the beast that's lying to you and shoveling a load of shit in your mouth, telling you that it's a nice bad juice.
Telling me it's some fried chicken. That's what they try to tell me. But
some collard greens you soaked in the bath.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit is crazy. But I think that conversations like this bring it to the forefront. And even if people buck up at first, the seeds are sown, just so you know. It might not be today. It might not be tomorrow. But it will be eventually at some point. And so I encourage you. I know we don't agree on everything, but this conversation has been really dope. And I really am enjoying this room. So thank y'all.
If I could get in on this,
Go ahead.
I've been sitting listening. Yeah, how you doing, guys?
Merry Christmas.
Thank you too, and Merry Christmas to everybody else as well. If I could get in on this, because I've been sitting here listening for quite some time. Very productive conversation. Lifelong Black conservative here. My father was also a Republican, a Black Republican as well, and I'm originally from California. So what I will say is that when you look at what's going on politically, okay, and you see what's going on, it's very refreshing. But I knew this day would come. I knew the day would come when the Black community will start to question the Democratic Party. And now that day is here, and you know what I mean. And it's just so refreshing to see. Just like the other gentleman said, Black people start to see themselves as just Americans and not just as Black. And, okay, what do we need? What policies do we need? to improve our country as Americans, and not just as Black people, because the whole Black identity thing is something that has evolved over time. Yeah, it's something that has existed. It's been part of our history and our culture and stuff. But it has evolved over time, and the political situation and landscape has evolved over time. But let's not forget that the Republican Party was instrumental in the early days of ending slavery. Okay, fighting against slavery and fighting against the Klan and stuff in the South that was trying to politically suppress African Americans during Reconstruction. And so it's almost like this was destined. It's almost like we're just returning to our roots, and it's just a very refreshing thing, and the fact that so many young Black people are getting involved in this movement is, this movement is going to grow. And like you said, I'll land with this. But you talked about, there's not a lot of young Black men in the hood anymore. And you know what? He's right about that, because you know what? A lot of young Black men are advancing past that, and they're going out and seeking opportunities. They're building new lives for themselves, in other places. And I actually think the result of this is we're going to see a whole new Black community get built. There's going to be a whole new, these Black men are going to go make a whole new Black community. And it's going to be amazing. It's going to be productive, and it's going to be conservative. So I'm going to land right there.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%, mister. I think I see that's where it's going to. I think this generation has access to an abundance of information, man, that we didn't have. Gen X, Gen Y. I think that it was easy for us to get bamboozled. Actually, I would say before that, because I think that Civil Rights Act was a huge fucking bamboozle. It was a huge trick we fucking fell for, man. And even, like I said, Malcolm X called that shit out. He called it Johnny on the spot, man. It was a fucking joke. And the fact that we fell for it. So I think this new generation, I think you're right. I think this new generation has access to a shit ton of information. I think they're able to scan through the information and pick out the important parts and realize, wait a minute, there's some discrepancies here. What I'm being told is different from what I'm seeing with my own eyes, and I think they're able to put those pieces together, man. So I absolutely agree, man. And I think you're right. The most important thing is we got to understand that in this country, our Black identity isn't the sole factor. It's the American flag. That's what matters. It's okay to have your identity and be proud, but that should not be the grand scheme of your pride. It should be for your countries. I'm telling you, man. Once we realize there are more Americans in our corner as Black Americans, I think the better off. And we got to realize the real ones that are in our corner. And I might piss some people off when I say this, but Americans like Donald Trump, Sue, going back to what you're saying, it's a harsh message. It comes off very crass. It's going to ruffle feathers. It's going to make you feel uncomfortable. It's going to make you feel some type of way. But those are the type of Americans that are going to create opportunities for Black Americans. Okay, those are the Americans that are going to cut taxes for us when they get in positions of power. Those are Americans that are going to, really try to do their best to hunker down on our taxpayer money that's being wasted and abused, right, and fraudulently acquired. And making sure that we keep more of that money in our pocket, making sure we have more opportunities. Like school of choice is one of them. I was disappointed the last couple elections when it was school of choice and how many Black people I heard think that was a negative thing. I'm like, look at the school your kids are going to. It fucking sucks. You mean to tell me you don't want an opportunity to be able to take your kid and put them in a better school to give them a better fucking chance? Like, come on, man. Like, this is common sense shit.
But see, you don't think some of that was reactionary to like headlines more than actually reading what the fuck the paper said?
Yeah, 100% Sue. Yeah.
I have to slide real quick too. I just wanted to say thank you so much. I'm not a man. However, I did join the house just in case y'all need a little femininity up in there sometimes.
Absolutely.
And I followed you as well. I'll make sure I follow you too, Isaac. I hope to catch y'all in another room. Say, please keep your replays on next time.
I know everybody keeps saying that, but no, so hey, Merry Christmas to you. Yeah, Merry Christmas to you and your family, Sue. It's a pleasure meeting you and getting to chat with you. So we need more Americans like yourself, especially black women. I'm sorry, man. Fuck the Jasmine Crockett's. We need more black women like you representing. We need more black women like you.
Wait till I tell you I ain't black, but we'll say that for another time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we'll say that for another combo, but I look forward to seeing you on Clubhouse. Shout out to everybody that participated. I really hope y'all have a fantastic day and a very happy holidays. Appreciate y'all.
You too, Sue. Be safe out there. Thank you.
Hey, y'all.
What's going on, Miss Holly? Miss Birthday Lady? How's your birthday?
Yeah, birthday, day 2.
Day 2, right?
When do I get to celebrate right there? So I had a couple thoughts. One, let me just throw it all out there real quick. So one, I was kind of sitting here trying to think, like, are there any young, sort of modern day Thomas Sowell, Louis Farrakhan, like thinkers like that? I was just thinking, like, are there any, kind of up and coming thinkers like them? I know they're different, but I still think Farrakhan, I think, had some great thoughts, and he was very smart. I mean, he's still around, I think, right? Anyway, okay, so that's one.
He's racist, though, man. He's got some good shit, but his racism fucking kills his message, man. He's such a racist piece of shit. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, my other thought was with school choice. This has just come. I mean, I've just been stumped too as to why the Black community isn't all over school choice. But I get it because the right has done a piss poor job at lobbying for this. Governors in each state haven't stepped up like they should. Oh, I hope I don't lose y'all. To educate and lobby. And we could do so much more when these bills are trying to get passed to educate the public as to what they actually entail, because the misunderstanding is understandable. They're not educating people on what ESAs are, and they think that it's like old school vouchers. They're doing a piss poor job at getting people on board with it. That's my thought.
Yeah, I think that's because they're trying to play by the rules, and I think they've been trying to play by the rules. They've been kowtowing to this politically correct bullshit. I think Donald Trump was the man to come in and kind of shake that and get everybody out of that mode and say, hey, look, these motherfuckers ain't playing by the rules. Why are we? Start using their same language against them. Start using their ideologies against them. Fuck it. We're gonna. If they want to get in the mud and play dirty and play Bush League, we're gonna play fucking Bush League too. And I think Donald Trump was the man to kind of open that up. Because you see, I'll give you an example, Marco Rubio. Look how much Marco Rubio has transformed in the last 8-9 years from where he was initially on that stage debating Donald Trump. Marco Rubio was a pussyfoot and spineless little fucking bitch. Now look at him. That motherfucker has changed. And I got a lot of love for Marco Rubio and a lot of respect for him for how much he's grown. But I think Trump's leadership has kind of, made it well known to conservative Americans that it's okay. You don't have to be polite and prim and proper 100% of the time. You can fight back. You can fight dirty a little bit. You can get scuffed up a little bit. It's okay. You can get some battle wounds when you're doing this shit. So, and two, I think Donald Trump too shed some light on the bureaucracy and the swamp that also exists in the Republican Party and Conservative Party as well. Because there's a lot of motherfuckers occupying seats in the Conservative Party that work for the best interests of America and American citizens. So, I think Donald Trump was the one that we needed to kind of shake things up, Holly, and get conservative Republicans and the right side to say, hey, get your act together, man. We got to do a better job of swinging people over. I think he's done a great job.
Yeah, I see that.
And I think. Oh, go ahead. You want to go?
No. Yeah, I was just kind of again, just sort of if you guys can think of any thought leaders that I should be following. I love Thomas Sowell, but damn, he's damn near 100 years old. Where's the Thomas Sowell? Where is the up and coming?
Well, look, I'll say this. We have to, as conservatives, we have to go and finance those types of people. We have to back them. Okay, we need to have. One of the things I was thinking about doing, I was getting together we're gonna have like a young people, or we get some resources together and get like a young people like think tank of like young people from all backgrounds to just come together and have like kind of like a little conservative conventions where they can kind of put their heads together, put their brains together, and ideas. I think if we do some investments, something like that will create a young generation of people. Now, you could say Charlie Kirk was along those lines, but I have a couple of issues with Charlie Kirk. There were some things that were problematic with Kirk. And the fact is, Kirk kind of came up at an era with turning points and stuff. From 2015, where there was like a white nationalist slant to what they were doing back then, 2015, 2016. I remember seeing all the white nationalists and stuff online at that time. But what I think has happened is that that's gone now, because this conservative movement has morphed into something that transcends all demographics now. I mean, Trump he was winning urban areas like New York City, large parts of New York City that haven't voted for a Democrat or a Republican in years. So that's another interesting thing, is that these younger people, they're not as focused on race as if you look at Richard Spencer, right? His movement fell off because he was trying to do the whole alt-right thing back in 2015. And if you notice, Richard Spencer, you don't really hear from him anymore. But if you do some research, what I found out, people who still follow him, he's not even a white nationalist anymore. He dropped that because he realized that with this generation, okay, it's not a viable thing. These kids these days, they don't view the world like that anymore.
What is he now, mister? What is he?
He's just he's like a right-wing conservative. He's portraying himself like he's this right-wing, just regular right-wing conservative, not necessarily with the whole racial stuff. But I still got to research into him. I don't really follow him like that.
What's his name?
Yeah, but what it is he dropped that.
Richard
Spencer. Yeah. But if you look at the stuff that he was doing, right? I remember some of the speeches that he would give, and they seemed so negative. Like he would talk to these young people and tell them they didn't have a future because of the technology and they weren't going to have jobs. So, hey, you better follow me. You better follow my movement. And that's not the way to motivate people. You know what I mean? You got to give them something that they can latch on to, something that they can make them feel good about themselves, something that they can be a part of. I think his move, he saw that, and then he went to Las Vegas or somewhere, and somebody punched him in his face, I think. So, and I think that type of stuff humbled him, and he realized, you know what, maybe this thing is.
Oh, was that the little funny guy with the mustache, mister?
Yeah, the guy that punched Richard Spencer.
Okay, yep, I know.
Yeah, and so he got punched, and then I think going through that, maybe he had a wake-up call and said, you know what, maybe I need to stop this.
Sure.
This isn't working out.
Kind of explain Spencer. He comes from the era of Charlie Kirk and Nick Fuentes. Yeah. Nick Fuentes. They are all three of them and others. They're kind of from that early 2000, like the late 2010s college debate bro type of side of YouTube. That's where all of them came from. Not a single one didn't. The issue with Spencer is Kirk and Fuentes basically stole both of the things he was trying to do. Because he was also trying to do the whole debate me bro type of thing. But the issue is, wasn't really a good debater, and Fuentes is just more entertaining when he's being racist. So Spencer was always left behind because of those and others just doing what he was trying to do better. He was always in the background, and I guess he made a little bit of a following. But the issue with him was he was not Charlie Kirk, could not debate he can't really debate too well. And then, like I said, he's not as entertaining. I would say he has better actual racial criticisms than Fuentes. Fuentes just says racist shit. Like, that's all he does. He doesn't actually have legitimate criticisms. Spencer does. He just does not talk. That's his issue. So I'm kind of glad he's going away from that, because the time I heard, Spencer's just, it's like, bro, I hear what you're saying, but you got to know how to say it. And he just was not that guy. So it's kind of good he's just going more conservative, because I've always felt he needed to stick towards the actual, like, right party or the right side of the party, which does actually address race. Like, I do kind of give the far right. They do actually say we need to address the racial things. They just don't go as far as Nick Fuentes in terms of calling people that. But yeah, that's where he kind of comes from.
You know, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to throw this out there. Didn't Steven Crowder Crowder was doing all this before anybody going to the university?
Steven Crowder comes from that. Steven Crowder also comes a little bit from that. That's when he started getting popular, around that time.
I feel like he started it. I felt like he was doing it before anybody, going to the, putting his little table up with the banner, prove me wrong or whatever. Like, I don't think he gets enough credit for that.
Yeah, he definitely, that changed my mind. Yeah, he's the one that definitely started that. Yeah, I would say another one who gets a lot of shit, Myron Gaines, Holly. Outside of the Manosphere Fresh and Fit shit, if you check out his personal channel, oh man, this dude is on fire, man. Myron Gaines, yep.
Oh yeah, okay. Myron Gaines.
Okay. Yeah, his personal channel, outside of the Manosphere shit, outside of the Fresh and Fit shit, where he covers politics and law. Also, he goes over the ailments as far as America within the different communities and different cultures and things like that. Yeah, that motherfucker's on point, man. Lots of fucking knowledge, just fire knowledge this dude to spit. Very, very smart guy. A lot of experience in law enforcement, traveling the world. Dude's just a wealth of fucking information, man. So he's another one. He just gets a lot of heat because his notoriety is from Fresh and Fit in the Manosphere. But outside of that, dude's a fucking just a fountain of knowledge, man. Fountain of knowledge, yeah. He's definitely got a nice fountain with him. But I was going to say, to Mister's point, as far as the white nationalist thing, I think that's kind of the white nationalist thing. I think that's kind of a symptom. I think we kind of created this new generation of white nationalists. I don't know how old you are, Mister, but I grew up in the 80s and 90s, bro. That wasn't a thing, right? And I lived around blacks, lived around whites. Like, it just wasn't a thing. I think it started rearing its ugly head, the Nick Fuenteses, and which I agree with a lot of things Nick Fuentes says. I can look past the rhetoric and how the message is delivered and just focus on the message. But this Groyper movement, the white nationalist movement, I think that is a reaction because we have allowed groups to take dominance with the bullshit. I think that's just a response that, hey, we're getting tired of fucking trampled all over. We're getting tired of being demonized simply because we're fucking white. We're getting tired of everybody else gets to celebrate our culture, but whenever we go to celebrate our culture and take pride in our culture, we get shit all over, right? We get opportunities taken from us. That there's other groups that have certain opportunities and are given opportunities that we as white men we are exempt from simply because we're white men. So I think that was a symptom of that problem, and I think the more we drift away from that, we're going to start seeing that go away too. So I think you're right. It's a good good observation. I think this younger generation is less focused on race and more focused on uniting the country, right, as a whole. So I think that's a good observation. Yo, Danny, Merry Christmas, man. You got a lot to say in the chat. You wanna talk, man? You're more than welcome to join the conversation, bro. Probably busy working or something, but yeah, feel free to come off mic, Danny. Even if you disagree, man, you're more than welcome to disagree and have a conversation. What's going on, Sean B? Merry Christmas, bro.
Hey, Merry Christmas, in case I don't get to talk to you before then. Merry Christmas to all of you. It's good to see all the faces. What's up, Holly, AI, everyone? Hey, yeah, no, not too much to say right now. I'm just getting ready for a client. I have one coming up soon. But no, interesting listening. I'm always really curious when I hear people talk about white nationalists, and I'm always curious, like, who do you consider a white nationalist? Who do you consider a right winger? Like, I consider myself conservative, but I don't consider myself a conservative right wing per se. I mean, that's we're talking about the same thing. We're just on the right side, and we're calling ourselves conservatives. I feel like certain terminology.
Well, let me say this.
Hold on, don't interrupt. I'm in the middle of talking right now. Okay. But when it comes to it, some of the wording are liberal words that I don't care for. I don't mind being called a conservative, but for some reason, when you say right wing to me, it kind of rubs me off, rubs me wrong. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't for anyone else. I mean, I'm proud to be an American, and I'm proud to support all Americans. I support Americans. I support our military. I support things that actually are proactive and productive in our country, not supporting people that want to stay at home and eat popcorn all day and do nothing with their lives and get paid, get a check. I'm not supportive of that. I'm not supportive of people that aren't wanting to be productive here. If you're in the United States, you need to be productive. Now, if you got some mental illness that you can't be productive and you want to be, I'm all about supporting people that want to get out there and be productive. You know what I mean? That's a big thing for me. But I can't speak enough on supporting our military. Like, I can't say it enough. I hate the attacks that constantly go towards that. I mean, have you guys seen the recent, just to stir up a little bit of something, have you guys seen all the recent attacks on, now I'm going to fucking blank on his name, our FBI director, Kash Patel. There you go.
No,
have you guys been hearing about this?
No.
So his girlfriend is a country singer. Right. And he shows.
I think, oh shit, she's horrible.
Right. I haven't even heard her music, to be honest, so I can't speak on it. But I heard it's pretty bad.
You ain't missing out on the show. You ain't missing out.
Okay. Well, then the other thing is that apparently Kash Patel's on social media a lot with her, and a little too social media-ish for an FBI director. And I do agree with that point. I don't know if any of you ever listened to Mark Dice on YouTube. He's excellent. He's not afraid to call shit out when he calls some shit out. I don't know if anyone's seen Mark Dice. He's good. I'm not Andrew Dice Clay. Mark Dice. But anyway, I'll leave it at that.
Well, I'll say this. I mean, the only reason I mentioned the white nationalism stuff is because I was trying to make the point that it's dying out. It's not a prevalent thing. What happened was it kind of cropped up back in 2015 with like Richard Spencer and those types of guys. And it cropped up for a few years. I want to say 2015, then 2016, Trump got elected. And then from that point on, I think there was some infighting, because what happens once Trump got elected, a lot of the white nationalists, they turned on Trump. Like Richard Spencer, he turned on Trump because he didn't like the things Trump was doing politically and stuff like that. So, but then from that point on, the movement kind of petered out and it kind of fell off and then it was gone. And it's just, so now you don't hear much of it anymore. You don't see the big rallies, the Charlottesville and stuff. You don't see that anymore because the national conversation has changed. People are not identifying race anymore. They're just identifying as Americans and the issues that they see that needs to happen in America. And I think that's a good thing. That's the point I was trying to make. Is that it's gone. It's like right now, so these kids these days, these Generation Z especially, they don't really look at race like that. That's not the first thing they look at. They look at, when they make friends with people, they look at, okay, is this person interested in the same things I'm interested in? Is this person, do they do the same things that I like to do? We have anything in common? I think that's what they look at. But I'll land right there.
Yeah, I agree, man. I spent the last 2 years raising 2 Gen Z kids and being around all their friends for 20 years, bro. You're right. They're not thinking like that, man. I had to have it out with their school because they started doing this DEI bullshit and trying to segregate the kids by race. And my kids, went to high school, predominantly white school, handful of black kids there. and my kids are getting emails. How does it feel to be, a black AP student? Black this, black that, and I'm like, I've been around these kids. I've been on the baseball diamonds with these kids for fucking years. I've been to the playgrounds with these kids. I've been to the fucking amusement parks with these kids. Have never brought up race, and my kids have grown up primarily around white and Indian kids. And not once has race ever been a discussion, has it ever been a fucking topic amongst these kids. And I'm like, why is the school bringing this shit up? Why are they making this a fucking issue? My youngest son came home with the fucking flyer for the Black Student Coalition in a fucking 80% white school. Like, are you fucking kidding? Like, what the fuck is this shit? So the school's been pushing this shit. And I think, again, the reason why we're seeing it die down is because coming off of the Obama era, everything was pretty much hate white males. If you're white skinned and you had a penis, you were pretty much the devil himself. So like I said, I think a bunch of white men got offended by that. They got tired of being shitted on and bullied and picked on just because they have a penis and white skin. And I think that was their way to kind of stand up and say, hey, we're done taking your shit. So this is the approach that we're going to take. If you're going to shit all over us, fine, fuck you, fuck everybody. We're going to collect our own group and we're going to do our own fucking thing and fuck everybody. So like I said, I think as we start coming together and we start realizing this thing supersedes race and ethnicity and all that shit, it's about the red, white, and blue. I think we're going to naturally see this shit die down. If you've ever sat down and talked with these guys, like, I got ragged on my first young clubhouse in 2021. I got ragged on so hard because I found the Groyper room. Never knew what Groypers were. Didn't know. I'm like, oh, this is interesting. And I sat there with 4 or 5 of them and had like a 2-3 hour long conversation. Very, very good conversation. They didn't disrespect me at all. They didn't call me N-words. They didn't, say get the fuck out of here. None of that. Very respectful. I asked them a bunch of questions, picked their brains, just trying to gain an understanding of where they were coming from and why they took the position that they took. These guys didn't have a problem. They didn't have a problem with blacks like us. Isaac, Mr. They didn't have a problem. It's the blacks that continually to push this narrative that white people are evil, white people are racist, they need to die, they owe us money, they owe us all this shit. That's where they had the problem. So I think once we start losing that mindset, I think we're going to actually see that go away.
Say on the Groypers and Fuentes, I'm not versed at all, and I haven't had time to really go in and delve into that personally. So, because I would love to speak more on that, because obviously there's a large following from the Gen Zers, right? But I'm definitely, that's something it's part of my homework assignment going into the new year. I did want to add one more thing to my comment I made earlier, just because I mentioned Kash Patel, that I forgot to mention. I guess he's getting attacked a lot because he's using, obviously, government money. Obviously, he can't fly commercially. That's the thing people need to remember. So if anyone has been questioning that's listening here or on the stage anywhere, the big thing is that if he wants to go to see his girlfriend at an event, which he has every damn right to, he has every right to support the person he loves. I just don't care for the social media end of it, but obviously social media is part of modern day stuff these days. But there is some national security involved with that. So posting and all that can be troubling if it gets posted and you haven't approved it and it goes out there. It can give you a bad look. But yeah, he can't fly commercially. The FBI director has to fly in a private jet, just like Donald Trump flies in Air Force One. That's just the way it is. If you're the CIA director, if you're a person of a higher stature, I don't think Pelosi is flying on Sprint or Delta. She's probably flying in her own private jet, paid for by her insider trading that she does that makes Martha Stewart look like an angel. Okay, just wanted to clarify what I said.
Could you imagine Nancy Pelosi ride spear with her little African little neck thing she had on when she was kneeling in the Capitol, bro?
Oh my God! Didn't someone have to help her up after she kneels? She couldn't get back up. I think she had trouble. Yeah, that was crazy. That is funny though. Thanks for bringing that one back up. That is a classic moment of comedy to go back and look at. Look at, I don't know. That whole thing is just weird to me. Yeah. Wasn't there another one where Obama bowed to the Saudis, or he did something that was just totally unpresidential, or he kneeled to like another leader or did something like that? It was just really weird. I can't remember if
Well, yeah, I think I
situation.
recall. I think I recall a buzz about that.
Yeah, I mean, Biden was knuckle bumping leaders when he was getting off the plane. I'm going, this is a bad look, man. Come on.
You see how when Trump gets with these leaders, I think it was in China. He was grabbing dude on the shoulders, shaking him around and shit. Just like he wants to have it. I'm like, yeah, Trump is in charge, motherfucker.
That's so funny. Yeah, he's
Right?
a big guy. You know, he's
He
a
is.
big guy.
Yeah, but yeah, man, I was laughing at that. Yeah, I think it was Xi Jinping or whatever his name is. Yeah, they were standing next to each other. Yeah, Trump grabbed him by the shoulder and shit, shook him around like a rag doll and shit. It was
That's
fucking
so funny. I imagine when you're that big, you go through life like everyone looks like your little buddy. You know, like everyone's like, hey, look like, you know.
Oh, that's funny as hell, man.
I like the one where Trump is walking past one of the Saudi, I think it was a Saudi king, and he just gives him a nice little, just a shoulder tap, like, hey, how's it going? And you're not supposed to, like, the pomp and circumstance. It's like you're not supposed to touch. I don't know the whole. One of you might know better details on that, but it was something you're not supposed to do. And he's just like, "What's up?" I don't play by your rules. I
love that. I mean, what if we said it's dishonorable in our culture to not embrace or to touch one? You know what I mean? Like, why is it that we have to be the ones to always like honor them when it's like, well, that makes me feel uncomfortable. What about my comfort?
Right? Yeah.
Alaska. Remember Alaska when he meets Putin and he has that flyover with the B-2 bomber and the jets and he points up at him. I love the memes. I mean, who knows what Trump said to him, but I love the memes where like, yeah, you see that? That's just like a .001 fraction of power.
Right. That's the tip of the iceberg.
Against you if you fuck with us. Yeah.
That's what I love about him, man.
Show of force. That masculinity. We ain't fucking around.
That's what garners respect, man. Not some old geezer, and poor Joe Biden. Like I said, as much as I can't stand Joe Biden, a part of my heart goes out to him because he is old and senile, and seeing him getting used and hustled and bustled around, that's not right, but
it's like carrying a dead man around and giving him a bunch of power. It's like Weekend at Bernie's like, no, he's alive. Let's just keep the puppet alive to move him around and auto pen all day long. There was something that came up yesterday on the news about auto pen Biden got knocked the fuck out trying to appeal or something happened. If anyone knows the details on that one, that's another good one. That came out yesterday. But yeah, who's to say if that's real or not, what the deal is? But there was definitely something about trying to eliminate any auto pen questioning, and it got denied. It's basically the summary. So it means it's still on the plate. And, the fact that Biden wasn't making the decisions that these other people were. I don't understand the legalities of that. That's where it'd be fun to bring Abby in, But yeah.
Yeah, I think from what I read, like I said, take it with a grain of salt. I'm no fucking expert. I'm just going off of the little excerpts I've read. But what it seems like is the auto pen can only be used when the president is actually aware of what is being auto penned. And I think they have some evidence that Biden wasn't fully aware of everything that was auto penned, so it should make it null and void. I think they were having some trouble with the pardons. So I think Trump was trying to, a lot of those pardons were auto penned. I think that's where they're having some hiccups because there might not be any legal repercussions for that, as far as getting those dismissed. I think a lot of the other things that were auto penned, they've got evidence he wasn't aware what was being auto penned, so they can get rid of it and dismiss it. So yeah, but I mean, I think overall, man,
okay, go ahead. With the partying sake, that was the thing. From what I understood, with the auto pen, with not even the auto pen, but just the pardoning. If we just look at the pardons that Biden gave out before he left. Before, for his family, et cetera, he was pre-pardoning them for crimes they hadn't even been charged with yet. You can't do that. You have to be charged before you can pardon. So kind of
tell me you're guilty without telling me you're guilty.
Right. I think there was something on that. Yeah. Again, I'm not an expert on this stuff, so I don't ever come across as saying I'm an expert on anything. Just from what I understand and what I'm looking into. things that make you go, right?
Absolutely, man. But I think overall, man, I'm happy in the direction the country's going. I'm seeing more people united, man, and it makes me happy. I'm telling you, man, this past fucking 10 years of goddamn division, well, actually a little bit longer than that with Obama. I mean, well, the country kind of united with Obama, you know, but I think we kind of united for the wrong reasons, you know, but I'm glad to see the country united, and I'm especially ecstatic to see Black Americans wake the fuck up, man, and stop falling for this bullshit. This bullshit lie that they've been fucking. I'm so glad Black Americans are starting to wake up and realize. I had, man, dude, the last 10 years have been hard hitting. Just family gatherings, Thanksgiving, Christmas, stuff like that. Because it's like just some long, drawn out, knockout debates, man. You know, trying to convince and wake up family members and friends and shit. Like, yo, you know, you're being lied to, man. You got to stop falling for this shit. You know, giving them information, giving them articles, showing them videos, having these discussions, man. But you know, last election, man, I had a shit ton of family members who would argue me up and down, man, every family gathering, bro, and they finally started voting for Trump. They started realizing the shit, you know, so that's what I say. I mean, I encourage everybody, man, have the fucking conversation, no matter how tough they are. Have the conversation. Having these conversations is what wakes people up. You ain't gonna save everybody, but having the conversation is better than staying silent, man, because there's going to be some ears that perk up and listen, and they're going to be like, oh, shit, wow, I never heard that before. You know, let's dig in a little bit deeper. Oh, shit, you know. The next thing you know, you got someone saying, yeah, fuck the Democrats, bro, I'm voting. And not just voting Republican, but paying more attention to policies and actions versus the bullshit, you know, lies that are being told to them, falling for that shit.
One more. Let me see one more. Isaac, and I want you to go because I can't talk anymore after this. That's why I'm shitting out as much as I can in a short time. I'm in California, so check this out. Our gas is down $1.30 in about a month. A month. So we were at $5 a gallon. We're down to $3.70, $3.80 a gallon right now.
Holy
California.
shit. Wow.
Yeah.
But you got a refinery closing those, Sean B. You know you guys got a refinery closing. Your gas prices are going to go back up.
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, hell, Trump is putting a blockade on Venezuelan oil, saying, you ain't moving that shit anywhere. So we'll see what happens with all that. There's a lot. I'm wondering if our prices will stay the same. So we'll see. I mean, there's those little things happening in the backgrounds, and I'm curious if it will change what's happening here. I have a sense that the prices are going down because Newsom's wanting to try to posture himself before he exits the building. And by the way, we're 10 points up on a possible Republican winning California, and we just passed the redistricting. Talk about a double-edged sword. If we get a Republican governor, and the fact that we had this special election that cost California millions, if not billions of dollars. I forget what the total amount was right off the top of my head. That was a double-edged sword, and I said it. If it passed and a Republican governor comes in, that redistricting goes to Republicans. And guess what happens to California? It turns red, baby. I'm telling you, it's going to happen.
Wow. Who is running? Is there a big ticket for the Republicans?
I don't know his name. It'll stick out more when I get the information better. I will definitely bring it up in the future. But something in the future that happened. And I'm really crossing my fingers on this because people are sick of how California's being run, from the LA fires to Newsom's and Newsom-isms and shit. I mean, my super left-wing clients. I mean, I run a Pilates studio. I'm one of the few Pilates teachers that you'll ever come across that's a conservative, a Trump supporter. And do you think I'd tell my clients that? No, they would probably beat me. I'll say, yeah, these left-wingers though, these left-wing Democratic socialists, 80% of my clientele, they hate Newsom, but they will vote anything but Trump, anything but Republican. But I'll say they're not happy with what's going on with Newsom, so there's a good percentage of them that may very well secretly vote for a Republican governor without ever
or they just won't.
Saying they
won't vote.
Or they just won't vote. Yeah. So
the majority of your clients are the majority of your clients female, Sean B?
Oh yeah. Good. I'd say about 65%. I got a good number of men coming in for now. 'Cause they're realizing Pilates isn't just a woman's exercise, you know? Yeah.
What I was gonna say is a concern. Zig has heard me brought it up. A concern that we kind of have as Americans now is the younger generation. They're not slowly going to fascism. They are excitingly going to fascism, and that's kind of something I think, since we are the guard, we're going to have to. It's not even we're have to. The reins are going to them. My concern now, like there are like black people coming out of the dark. That's a good thing. My concern is more towards the younger generation and making sure they do not make a mistake that they don't understand. Because I understand they're angry, they have a right to be, and they do deserve justice. But Sig, you heard the guy. You remember that rule I was telling you, this is Gen Z, this is their political view. That is something we do have to make sure, even if there's some, it's not the majority. Because Gen Z women, they don't really have any political views. You start actually grilling them on what do they believe in and why did they do it, they don't have an answer. Gen Z men, they are full on, we want to replicate Nazi Germany. It's getting to that point, and we cannot let that happen. We just can't.
Like I said, the biggest part is, we got to do our part to stop demonizing our fellow white Americans, man. And I can't blame them.
100%.
Yeah, if you're walking around, you ain't done shit to nobody, and you're being blamed for shit that happened generations before you, out of your control. You ain't victimized to nobody, and you're constantly getting shit on. I can totally understand turning and saying, "Yeah, fuck you, motherfuckers too." Yeah, I can. So yeah, we got to do our part, man. We got to spread the message, man. We got to stop demonizing our fellow white Americans, bro. We got to stop doing it, man. We got a lot of white Americans who are in our corner, not to patty cake our buttholes and treat us like wounded animals that are helpless, but to say, hey, black motherfuckers, I don't look at you as black motherfuckers. I look at you as my brothers and sisters under the flag, and I care about you because we're all Americans. And we got to start embracing that, man. Got a lot of great white Americans, man, who are in our corner simply because we're Americans, and they don't give a fuck what we look like. So we got to start realizing that, man. That's the actual truth.
I would say a great way we could do that is start waking up other black people, because they're starting to see the political issues, but I'm pretty sure they're still dark by other. One thing I'm telling, and this is like me more being from the southern end of the United States, I'm telling a lot of southern people that we need to remember the old southern codes. Yes, there was racism, but there was still honor, there was still respect. You just didn't go and betray your neighbor or anything else because of skin color. That's something I know I'm probably going to have to actually take more seriously, because the South is starting to become racist again, but it's not the white people that are doing it. It is a problem. And I guess this war is going to be on the internet more than the bullets, but I think we need to keep it to the internet, because Gen Z, these kids, people are demonizing them, and all I got to say is, you must have never been in a gunfight where you're outnumbered. They will be the outnumbering ones. We do not need that.
Well, are you referring to when you say hold on, please, y'all. When you say the South is getting more racist, but it's not white people, what are you implying there?
I don't know how, but black activism has infected the South. I cannot explain how. I don't know. Many people that are down there, they don't know. They're like, we don't know what happened, but it got down there. It reared its ugly head. I know Atlanta, for some reason, is like a hotbed of it, because I don't know. There's been so much white nation out of Atlanta. It's kind of scary. But yeah, Atlanta's like kind of a hotbed of black activism because of that. there's a lot of white people that just leave it because they're like, bro, it's just fucking racist, which I don't blame them. I would leave too. That's kind of what I mean. Like, there are areas of the southern United States that are clearing out because the activism is just it's disruptive, and we need to bring it back under control. It's not like activism was always allowed, but it was never allowed to the point where you're basically scaring the working population out, which is still majority white in the South. They still build most of the shit.
Right. Yeah, this is something that I really struggle with because, like, I don't know, if my algorithm is just feeding me scary stuff, or if it's like, it's hard to know what to believe, and it's very, very damn near impossible to really sift through and find out, is there a trend? I don't know the answer. Like, is there a trend happening right now of Black criminals or Black people, violent Black criminals who are spontaneously harming white individuals?
Yes.
Because they're white. That's the thing.
Yes.
I don't. There's no way to figure this out, but it feels like that. It feels that way. You have the lady in Savannah that was just randomly attacked with acid. You have a Hispanic woman who was randomly attacked with acid in South Carolina. Now that those gentlemen were wearing masks, so I don't know their race, so who knows. But the man in Savannah, obviously he was Black. You can see from the footage, and yet none of the news channels are saying that they're looking for a Black man, which is just fucking weird. Like, we can all see he's fucking Black. Like, what are we doing here? And then you have, the other day, there was a Black kid fucking stabbed multiple times, stabbed him in the fucking eye, stabbed a white autistic fucking kid. It's fucking at a high school. It's like, how many of these stories happen and we don't hear about it? Like, are we just, they don't want us to hear about this? Or has this always been going on? Or is something happening?
You're saying we're not hearing about it, but you heard about them, right? Seems like you're contradicting yourself, Holly.
No, what you're saying is it's not blasted and broadcast as much as if it were a white on Black situation. That's what she's saying.
Right. Usually when I learn about these things, it's typically not right after the fact. It could be even a year or two later and it's because I'm on Clubhouse and maybe I'm scrolling or I'm randomly looking up something, and it's just sort of a random thing, right? Like, it's not like everybody's talking about it. Nobody fucking knows about this thing in Savannah. I happen to know because I happen to be just I don't know, man. It's random. I stumble upon it, but Joe, you can say what you want, man. You're in Canada. I don't fucking care. But I'm talking as a white woman, it's like I'm not even allowed to even say out loud, I'm a little scared. Shut the fuck. You know what? You're fucking obnoxious. Don't fucking annoy me right now.
Trump,
you are such a fucking fuck.
Holly, you just said I could say what I wanted. So why are you crying? I just want to say one thing, and then you can boot me off your stage.
John, Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas.
What's up,
Trump tweets about illegal immigrants, or, I don't know, Haitian lesbian street gangs, or what else? What's the other country he's targeting lately? Another Black country. My point is, Trump posts truth socials on a daily basis targeting these minority groups. Never is he tweeting about white people other than to say they're victims. So I don't know what you're talking about, Holly, because over the last year, there's a hell of a lot more media pushing this white replacement theory than there is anybody saying what you're doing. I'm not seeing these articles that are trying to pretend that Black people are the big victims of white people. In fact, it's the opposite. You don't see the president tweeting about how, Black people are victims of white people. No, it's the opposite. You have the president passing laws so white people can sue universities for discrimination.